today we are making spaghetti, which is pretty basic. You can't get any more basic than this. Right here I have jalapeno sausages that I've already sliced up, and I covered them with water. I put about 3 full cups and then a half cup. You can't really see in this lighting, but it has measurements on the inside that shows half a cup. So 3.5 cups of water, or you could just put just enough to cover the sausages like this. And I'm gonna put it on about, I think maybe three or 4 heat, which is medium high, I think, and cover it up with some foil while it cooks. Next, you just need a pot like this and fill it up with some water because we're going to be making spaghetti, putting the spaghetti pasta in there. There's no real measurement I use for the amount of water. I put in here in just about this much. And you want to turn it on high because I put it on about 8 because you want the water boiling. You don't want to put, spaghetti in cold water and bring the temperature up. You want it to already be boiling because by doing that, if you put it in when it's not boiling, the pasta will be like really mushy. It just won't turn out right. So we're gonna bring this up, which will take few minutes, and we'll check back in when it's boiling so I can show you the next part. Alright, the water is boiling. You can tell based on how much steam and how bubbly it looks. But before I put the spaghetti in, I just wanted to mention that for the sausages, you can use any sausage that you want. I just happen to be using jalapeno, but you can use something like beef, or they have like many varieties. I even like to use garlic sausage sometimes. So just use whatever you like. I found that when you're slicing them up, that you can, the thinner you slice them, the more meat you have to work with. So I like to slice them pretty thin. So just so you know. But for this, I like to use whole grain spaghetti because I switched to it when I had pre-diabetes because I wanted a lot of whole grain in my diet at the time, and I just stuck to it, and I find that it tastes pretty much exactly the same as regular spaghetti, so consider trying it at some point in the future. So for this, I don't really have like a specific measurement. I just like to put it in there. Gosh, it's all messy. Yeah. Just away. And you want it to be like this. You don't want to break them, because if you break them, then you'll have a bunch of small spaghetti noodles, and you want them to be long unless you actually just like short noodles. But yeah, that's the reason why you don't break them. You just put it in boiling water and then lower it to halfway and just fold them in like that, and then just let them cook until they soften. I'll show you how I'll explain. But really, when they soften on the inside, there'll be a white part if you split one of the noodles open, and if it has white in the middle, then it's not done. So you just want to keep checking from time to time to see if that white part disappears, and when that disappears, the noodles are done. So right now, the sausages are still, heating up. And I'll check back in later when either the pasta or the sausages cook down. You want the sausages to be pretty much cooked before you start adding the rest of the ingredients I have sitting right here. Okay, check back in soon. So from here, you just turn off the heat and you have to drain it. Also, I wanted to show you that I had bought this once trying to get, you know, good measurements of my pasta because I like things to be like really exact every time I cook it, but this really doesn't work. I haven't figured out, you know, a good amount to put in here that makes a good number of bowls for how many that I make just for myself. So here, you just take it over to the sink and you just drain it of the water. When you finish draining it, it'll look like this. You just sit it. Also wanted to mention that when you're cooking spaghetti, noodles, or rice, that it's good to always keep it really well vented, because if you don't, then it'll bubble over. So keep that in mind. Right now, looks like our sausage is ready to have these added. I'm gonna add some mushrooms, some tomato sauce, tomato paste, and a bit of minced garlic and extra virgin olive oil. I like to add just a tiny bit, yeah, like that, just a little bit, and then it doesn't need a lot really. Next, the reason why I usually only add about 3.5 cups of water is because when you add the tomato sauce, it gives it more liquid, so you don't want to have too much to begin with. Now, when you use sausages, pork sausages, it leaves like a film of grease over the top. So I like to start sort of scooping off as much as I can from the top, because if you don't, once you're done cooking and it cools off, it's gonna leave this like orange grease film over the top, which is really unpleasant, and like the spices you add to it, it sucks those up, like it sticks to the top. So I like to try and scoop off as much grease as possible at this point, so that that doesn't happen too much. Okay, next we want to add the mushrooms. Spaghetti I make is basically like 3 ingredients, like sausages, mushrooms, and the noodles, plus the seasonings. Very simple, anyone can do it. And you can also, you know, jazz it up on your own. Use whatever stuff you want to add to it. It's just a base for you to start with. Okay. Now, we want to add frozen seasoning blend, which is celery, yellow onion, red bell peppers, green bell peppers, and parsley flakes. I like to put, this is a 1/4 cup, I like to put 3 of these. About 3. Like so. And then we start adding the spices. I like it to be spicy a little bit, and you know, Cajun seasonings. This is Chachere's Creole seasoning. I'll have everything listed in the description, of course, for you. Okay, this is a bit of accent. This is oregano leaves. This is garlic powder. And you just season it to taste. There's no exact measurement. You just taste it, and if you think you need some more or something, you add it. These are basil leaves. Onion powder. Lofi mama. This is red pepper, or cayenne pepper. I like to call it red pepper. I don't know if that's what everyone calls it, but this is Italian seasoning. Dark chili powder. And this is Cajun seasoning, Louisiana Cajun seasoning. Just a little bit more. And then you stir it in. Lower the heat a little bit because this is the simmering phase. And then I like to let it cook a bit so that the mushrooms cook through and the seasoning blend cooks through, so before I taste it, to give everything a chance to soak in so I can know whether or not I need to add anything else. Okay, so I'll check back in a few minutes. It has had time to simmer and it's pretty much done. The one thing I did forget to mention that I like to add is some jalapenos. Just a few, and it likes to just give it more spice because I like to have spicy spaghetti, but you don't have to add it if you don't like to. And another thing that I wanted to mention that I do is I like to add a little bit of the pasta sauce to not the pasta sauce, but the spaghetti sauce to the pasta, because if you just leave it to sit and cool, it's gonna all stick together. So I like to season it this way as well as keep it from sticking together by having like the slightly greasy sauce, you know, lubricate the noodles. Like that. Yeah, this is pretty much done. I'll give you a close-up shot and that'll be it. Okay, here we are at the end of the video. This is a close-up shot of the spaghetti sauce. Got the mushrooms, the sausages, and the jalapenos. But yeah, I thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to leave a comment, a like, share, and subscribe. just remember that I'm here giving you the basis to start with. Bye!